Welcome, everybody, to another installment of Planet 7-6 5-minute recaps. I'm one of your co-hosts of the show, Troy, and we got a good one. Sixers get one, 125-114. They win Game 3 in what many we're calling a must-win. You don't want to go down 3-0. They do not. They win, again, 125-114. If you are new here, Planet 7-6 podcast has frequent episodes throughout the weeks, and then we do crank it up a notch during playoff time. So we give a Planet 7-6 5-minute recap of every single 76ers playoff game. And so this one's my turn. Michael had Game 2, I had Game 1, so we kind of flip back and forth. But Game 3 just concluded a few minutes ago. I'm just going to give you a quick few-minute breakdown of the game and then a little preview of what's to come coming up on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time tip for Game 4 at the Wells Fargo Center again, as the Sixers will look to tie the series up. But Game 3 was a tightly contested one. It was almost one you never felt super comfortable with, obviously, considering what happened in Game 2. Sixers, this game was really decided by a massive third quarter that the Sixers had where they could not seem to miss. I want to say they made 9 threes in the third quarter. It was nuts. Joel Embiid had 5 himself on the day. He had 50 points on the night, a new playoff career high. Sixers won the third quarter 43-27 after being down by 3 at halftime. Tightly contested first half. No one got much of a lead at all. Knicks led by 3 at the half, but Sixers responded. Took a fourth quarter lead of 13 into the fourth, and Knicks every time, like you think it's over, they just continue to make a run. OG Anunoby hit after the lead got to 14, hit back-to-back threes, maybe midway through the fourth or 3-4 minutes left, and cut it to 8. And again, you never felt too comfortable until the very, very end of this one. But Sixers do pull it out. Encouraged, obviously. Michael and I had talked after Game 2 about what kind of response this team was going to have. Were they going to, roll over and quit, or were they going to come out and fight? And while I would have liked to see, more of a statement win, I guess you can say it. They won by 11, but man, it would have been amazing to see him come out and blow this thing open, win by 25. It was kind of what I was thinking, because I thought they were going to come out angry, come out as the aggressor, and then Knicks ended up with a small lead at halftime. But the third quarter and fourth quarter, Joel Embiid was the guy, and he's one of the best basketball players in the world. He's got an issue with his eye, he's got a big issue with his knee, and yet he's still battling through it, playing through it. This was obviously the best he's looked in the stat sheet, but also the best he's looked on the floor as far as comfort. He was limping quite a bit down the stretch in the fourth quarter, but he played 41 minutes tonight, and he had 50 points on 19 field goal attempts. That's absurd. Yeah, I don't know that I've seen that. 19 field goal attempts, 13 of 19 from the floor, 5 of 7 from 3, and he made 19 of his 21 free throws. Got to the line a ton. Mitchell Robinson got in foul trouble, and then he was hurt. Did not see him in the second half. Isaiah Hartenstein started well, but got into foul trouble himself. Ended up with 5 fouls. He was a team low minus 24 for the New York Knicks. He had 14 points and 4 boards. It was good to keep him off the glass. Sixers did out-rebound the Knicks. Knicks got 11 offensive rebounds. The Sixers, as on the whole, out-rebounded the Knicks by 4, 36-32. But again, the story in this one was 15 of 31 from the three-point line for the Sixers. That was the difference. Knicks made 13 threes. But the Sixers were able to hold on this time. Let's just say what it was. They were able to hold on, secure the victory, even though the Knicks just kept fighting and fighting. Even in the 43-27 point third quarter, Knicks made a lot of shots to stay in it. Let's be real. If there was a stretch where there was 4 or 5 threes in a row, and the Knicks were answering, and that was a problem. Because if they don't answer, this is maybe that 20-25 point victory that would have been a little easier to watch, a little less nerve-wracking. But nonetheless, Sixers get the very much needed victory over the Knicks in Game 3. One of the other stories in this one, I mean, Sixers played their starters a lot of minutes. Embiid 41, Maxey 41, Lowry 31. He had 9 points, but he was good. He made an impact, took a charge late, got a couple buckets late that were big. Kelly Oubre was good tonight, more like the Oubre that we've been used to seeing this season. 15 points in 38 minutes, 6 of 8 from the field, 7 boards, 3 assists, and 2 steals for Kelly Oubre in his 38 minutes. Nick Batum played 29 minutes, and then early on, you saw Buddy Hield come in off the bench, and Michael and I talked about it, kind of like he comes in for a couple minutes, misses a shot, and then sits down, and then maybe he gets back in and shoots a shot and misses, and then he's done. He only got one chance tonight in 4 minutes, missed both shot attempts, and went to the bench. We didn't see him again. Payne checked in the second quarter and lit it up immediately, making his presence felt. He had 11 points on the night in 16 minutes, 3 assists. Played well defensively with 2 blocks, 4 of 7 from the field, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. So Cameron Payne, a big answer off the bench. I fully expect we will see him again in Game 4. Not sure that we can say the same for Buddy Hield. Again, Michael and I talked to, he's almost one guy that needs to stay on the floor if he's going to get into the game, get into the flow of the game. And right now, it doesn't appear that the Sixers can afford to give him, 16, 17, 18 minutes a game. And those might be going to Cameron Payne. Well-deserved. We've kind of said it even since Cameron Payne came over in the deal. Like, he's quick. He's electric. He can really get other people involved offensively, and obviously he can knock down some shots. But the drop off as far as like athleticism or like style of play is not a big difference from him and Maxey, just in terms of the way they play. He's not Tyrese Maxey. He'll never be Tyrese Maxey, but he's quick and he can kind of do the same things that Maxey does on a pick and roll and pick and pop and all those things. And you kind of noticed it tonight with the way he was able to get teammates involved and look for his own shot. So he was big. As far as the Knicks go, again, we talked about some of the big guys, but Jalen Brunson by far had his best night of the series. 39 points, 13 assists, 13 of 27 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3, 10 of 12 from the free throw line. He was incredible. And, it's funny because Brunson had a very, very poor first 2 games of this series, shooting-wise, and then tonight goes off for 39 and 13. And that's the game the Sixers win, right? If you come into this series and you're thinking, okay, what if I told you that Jalen Brunson's going to score 22 in Game 1, but he's only going to make 1 out of 6 threes. He's going to shoot 30%. And then in Game 2, he's going to score 24 points, but it's going to take him 29 shots to do that, 27% in the field. Again, 1 of 6 from the three-point line, and a few assists. And then you think, okay, tonight, 39 points, 13 assists, 13 of 27, and that's the game that the Sixers won. The Knicks' best player, his best performance of the playoffs, and that's the one the Sixers win. So kind of an interesting point there. But they rode Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey was very good tonight again, 25 points, 9 of 21 from the field, 7 assists for him, just 1 turnover. 2 steals, 4 rebounds, had a couple breakaway dunks, layups to get that momentum swinging in the third quarter. So Tyrese Maxey was huge. Embiid was huge. Tobias Harris, only 8 points. He actually, fun fact, did not finish the game in the starting lineup or in that lineup. Nicholas Batum was in for Tobias Harris down the stretch. Batum made a couple nice plays with a couple blocks and some steals. I think Jalen Brunson, what affects him the most seems to be length. For a good chunk of time, even Oubre has done a good job on him. But that is something to note. He kind of had his way tonight, Jalen Brunson, but Sixers get the win. And so you're a little more okay with him having his way. But just something to look for as we move forward in this series. Game 4 is how can we contain Jalen Brunson? Or is it, okay, let's let him get his, but don't let anybody else do what they have been doing. DiVincenzo, very quiet, just 5 points. Josh Hart, again, continues to knock down threes. He had 20 points, only 6 boards. He came into this game leading the series in rebounds, but just 6 tonight, 4 of 8 from 3. it's absurd what he's doing. OG Anunoby was very good, very active offensively and defensively. His best game of the series, too. 17 points, 7 of 11, and 3 of 4 from 3. So real quick, as we move ahead to Game 4, Sunday afternoon tip, ABC, 1 o'clock Eastern, as the Sixers look to tie it up. I think a few keys as we head toward that game. Again, 2 full days rest for Joel Embiid and company, so that's a big deal. He looked the best he has, even since his return, and not just, again, in the stat sheet, but overall, just his health looked good, relatively speaking, because we know the situation with him, with his health, but I'll tell you what, he looked good enough to get 50 points tonight. So, but another, again, note is, Sixers have to feel pretty good considering the fact that Jalen Brunson, again, by far had his best game of the series, but OG Anunoby had his best game of the series as well, from an offensive standpoint, and yet the Sixers still get the job done. So their 2 best players play like they did, and wasn't enough to beat the Sixers on a really good shooting night for the Sixers, let's be honest. But just something to look for is 1, Embiid's health. 2, someone to step up, continue to step up. We need another performance like that from Kelly Oubre, active early and often. Payne off the bench is going to be big again. You can kind of see it trending that way. He's going to be a spark plug off the bench for the remainder of this series. Kyle Lowry needs to be big, and then we're still looking for Tobias Harris to do a little more. Get around 15, 16 points would be big, considering some of those other guys for the Knicks that are stepping up in big ways throughout this series so far. So look out for that, and look out for what the Sixers figure to do with Jalen Brunson. We will have another recap, Planet 76 5-minute recap, after Game 4. Again, 1 o'clock Eastern tip on Sunday. And then you can look out for another full-length episode of Planet 76 podcast later on that evening as we recap Game 4 in a full-length episode, and then look forward to Game 5 as the Sixers will be heading back to Madison Square Garden, and we'll see if it's knotted at 2 as we do that. But we'll have you covered here on Planet 76, 5-minute recaps and beyond. These recaps are available everywhere, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. So be sure to check it out and look for that full-length episode coming out Sunday night. We'll see you next time on Planet 76.